أهلا.
Hi Farah.
Hi, Farah. It's interesting that we have the same name يعني.
I know, I love it. It's so confusing.
It is. عاملة إيه؟ كله تمام؟
الحمد لله كله كويس. How are you?
الحمد لله كله كويس. متحمسة قوي اللي احنا هنتكلم النهاردة بقى about your practice.
Oh, I'm really excited. Thank you for
all
having me.
about all about jewelry art. أنا أكتر والله. I'm very excited as well. متحمسين إن احنا نتكلم معاكي. تقريبا it paused. هنعلق شوية. أيوة.
Hi, sorry.
سمعني كويس؟
Yes, okay.
Okay. هو علق for a second there بس we're
Okay.
good now. أخبارك إيه؟
كله good الحمد لله.
كله كويس. How are you spending your day كده تقريبا يعني؟
Today was the first day back to studio. It was full force working on some production, on preparing some things for our talk today, and just getting the ball rolling in terms of in orders and just summer prep. إن شاء الله هنشوف كده إيه اللي هيحصل في الصيف لسه.
لا حلوة قوي. best of luck. best of luck.
Thank you.
حابين بقى النهاردة يا فرح نتكلم معاكي أكتر عن يعني how you perceive jewelry art. أنا مش عايزة. أنا أول مرة أقرأ your bio let's say. لاحظت إن أنت you refer to yourself as a jewelry artist مش jewelry designer.
Yeah.
مظبوط؟
Yes.
فعايزة بقى يعني this caught my attention شوية. فحابة قوي اتكلم في النقطة دي بالذات انه حاسة ان انت you perceive jewelry differently. يعني مفهومك للحلي let's say الجولري عامة it's different. وبتفكري فيه from a very experimental, from a very research based, from a very conceptual let's say perspective. منظور مختلف شوية. فحابة افهم منك اكتر يعني your thought process ماشي ازاي when it comes to jewelry art. بس قبل ما نتكلم في المواضيع دي كلها حابة يعني نعرف أكتر أنتي دارسة فين و your background and your studies. وممكن بقى نتكلم أكتر عن your practice.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction. يعني it was one of the best spoken way to like describe the perspective بتاعي. I think it's a very interesting conversation عشان a lot of people skip over it علشان هي vague شوية مش مفهومة قوي. بتشوفي الشغل and you're like ده زي jewelry أصلا أنا مش فاهمة إيه العلاقة. I think it's interesting to go beyond that and to really have a discussion. Thank you for picking that up. I appreciate it قوي. I do call myself a jewelry artist because of my background. Exactly زي ما انت قلتي بالظبط. I started off AUC actually. I was always interested in art and painting. انت سامعاني كويس؟ حاسة في echo.
سامعة echo؟ تحبي هو it's lagging شوية فممكن تقفلي وتدخلي تاني.
Okay, let me try
عشان
that.
Okay. طيب معلش يا جماعة عشان في تقريبا ديلي في الصوت فهنحاول ندخل فرح تاني معانا. مستنيين بس فرح تطلع معانا لايف. فرح لو سمعاني قولي لي كده لو جالك ريكوست مني. لا جالك الريكوست ولا لا؟ طب هحاول اوكي ماشي يا جماعة بس في technical glitch. Okay.
Okay. Hi.
Okay, it worked.
Okay.
سامعاني
Thanks.
كده احسن شويه؟
Yes, I hear you perfectly. Thank you.
طب حلو.
حلو. I think we were just about to start discussing how I define my work and myself as a jewelry artist.
ايوه.
وكنت بقول إنه it's mainly 100% to do with my background, which is mainly in the arts. I was always an artist, very interested in painting, very interested in three-dimensional work and different materials. فحتى my paintings were never flat. It was always incorporating different techniques and materials برضو عليها. Then I got the opportunity to do an exchange program with Wellesley College in Boston, and that's where I got to dive into painting a lot deeper.
حلو قوي.
وبالصدفة one of my painting teachers عاشت في مصر أكتر ما أنا عشت في مصر أصلا. أنا ما اتربيتش هنا ولا اتولدت هنا ولا أي حاجة.
فعلا اتولدتي فين؟
أنا اتولدت في النمسا في فيينا.
اوكي واو.
وطول حياتنا we've been traveling around every 2-3 years. I only come to Cairo for the summer and for the winter. بس it became home naturally. فهي التيتشر دي لما قابلتني حبتني علشان حبها لمصر basically. from there she was like لا خلاص أنا هوريكي كل حاجة. she really took me under her wing يعني. I became her student في كل حاجة في الحياة عامة، في الطبيخ، في البينتينج، في البيت، like everything. from there she introduced me to الجامعة اللي هي اتخرجت منها, which is the Rhode Island School of Design. she was like okay I'll just take you on a day trip كده تعالي شوفي الفاسيلتيز وكده. وهي ما كانتش عايزة ان انا ارجع مصر. okay. وانا طبعا كنت هموت study art in more depth at the time back in the day يعني. AUC ما كانتش لسه a very strong art program.
ايوه.
دلوقتي it's a lot more developed than it was زمان. بس she introduced me to RISD, which is the Rhode Island School of Design. أنا شبت and I didn't turn back. I applied for transfer.
لا أنا قاعدة بقى.
لا أنا قاعدة.
هنا.
It was so incredible. كانت أول مرة أخش art and design school بجد. وكانت أول مرة أشوف الفاسيلتيز وأشوف الناس بتشتغل إزاي. وكل حد ما فيش classrooms في studios وكل حد كان عنده personal language space to voice all of their ideas. أنا انبهرت honestly وثبت.
متخيلة.
4 years later I graduated from the Jewelry and Metalsmithing program هناك. And that's where I made my shift from painting into jewelry. وهناك الجامعة because it's an art and design university, it is very theoretical but it's also very practical. فالجewelry program كنتي بتتعلمي everything from like the traditional techniques, but everything from, it's called actually حلية وحدادة. One of our first classes we were learning how to forge زي زمان الدق اللي هو اللي في الفرن بتسخني and then بتطلعي and then you start hammering and you're sweating all over the place, and we were making bowls out of metal. We were making forks and knives and spoons and vases and all. فكانت حدادة بجد. It was really silversmithing. وبعدين they started introducing you to more traditional techniques اللي هو stone setting على hollow objects على traditional jewelry techniques. ومن ضمن الحاجات برضو دخلنا طبعا في conceptual. And this is the part that really, it just blew my mind. Just how you can go in depth so much into your research, into your concept, for you to be driven by a different source and inspiration and start creating a completely new discussion around it. فدي كانت حاجة أنا ما كنتش عارفة إن أنا interested فيها عامة. I always loved contemporary art. فاهماه مش فاهماه, you read the little paragraph in the gallery. But because I also love to research and read and write, فانا حتى most of my sketchbooks كتابة اكتر من إن هي رسم. فلقيت نفسي لا I'm very much drawn towards ال conceptual jewelry عامة and what we also call art jewelry. ف it's not so much الكوميرشال اللي بيتلبس كل يوم، بس اللي هو ممكن يتلبس بس بيكون فيه interpretation of materials مختلفة. And it's also usually made by a studio artist.
Yeah.
So this is where the definitions come to play شوية. A jewelry designer would be somebody who designs jewelry.
Yeah.
But doesn't necessarily make it. And isn't necessarily involved in the making process عامة. Okay? As a jewelry artist, my approach is where I produce everything myself in my studio. And my approach in the concept is extremely artistic as well. So it's not just in making, but it's how do I come up with these ideas برضو.
في aspect معين يا فرح بحس انتي بتهتمي قوي برضو بعلاقة الأوبجكت أو الجولري let's say بالجسم، فحابة برضه تتكلمي عن الموضوع ده أكتر.
Yes, فأنا يعني من الكونسبت اللي أنا يعني مهتمة بيها قوي is when we started I just started thinking about وأنا في الجامعة حتى it was a concept كنت بفكر فيه اللي هو إيه اللي بيخليني ألبس الخاتم على صباعي، أو إيه اللي بيقولي إن النكلس لازم تتلبس على رقبتي. So I started breaking down and understanding ازاي اصلا الجسم فاهم ان ده يتلبس هنا ومش مثلا حوالين my shoulder زي الشنطة. Then I started actually I was writing a lot what are the differences between a necklace and a bag. مثلا مناديل أنا ممكن أعلق عليها مثلا تليفوني ف it's still a container that's carrying something.
صحيح.
It could also be carrying a lot of emotion, a lot of personal memories. ففي حاجات philosophical برضو كتيرة قوي مش بنفكر فيها، بس الفورم نفسه الفتحة دي موجودة برضو في الشنطة.
صحيح.
فلاحظت إن the common thread هنا هو الجسم. هو اللي بيقولك أنتي عايزة تلبسي إيه وفين. That's when I started looking into إيه اللي بيخلي الجسم يلبس، أو إيه الانتراكشن دي، إيه اللي بيحصل وقتها. ولقيت إنه هي الفتحات فالopenings. And these openings I started طبعا كdesigner starting to figure out إيه الopening ده أخليه شكله عامل إزاي. And I concluded and it was the shape of a circle. So as soon as you have a circle, the body is automatically interpreting it like it's an open space ان انتي to interact او تحطي ايدك جواه او تلبسيه او تجربيه او تخشي فيه directly like a door like an open space things like that. فلقيت في parallels كتيرة قوي حتى in architecture, looking at furniture design, looking at jewelry, at wearable objects. كل الحاجات دي they are designed especially made for the body and the body's interaction in space. So that's kind of where كل philosophies get مع بعض. بس it's kind of like it's a bit in the clouds and it's very difficult to say طب الحاجة دي شكلها إيه. But that's why I also approach it kind of like a social experiment.
Yeah.
بحس إن أنتي you're actually instead of the jewelry being إيه ده الله شكله حلو قوي، هو ممكن يكون ليه يعني functions تانية كمان. مش لازم يكون بس الفانكشن زمان كان الفانكشن for social status, wealth, right? ان انتي you're talking about precious material, حاجات تبين الرانك عندك الارمي stars. These are all things that were used because you want to communicate حاجة معينة.
مظبوط.
But at the same time انتي برضو you can use them instead of it being a tool to say something will خلاص البوينت خلصت اللي هو I'm just making a statement. It can be a conversation. It can be something that is and this is what I really stress on اللي هو it's more of an experience. فان احنا instead of focusing so much on اوكي خلاص انا لبست الحلق great شكلي حلو، لا طب ايه كان الاكسبيرينس، how does it feel وانا ماسكاه، how does it feel وانا بلبسه، is it يعني خلاص it's second nature وانا بلبس الحلق، ولا في حاجة بتخليني اكون interested في الobject بيكلمني بطريقة معينة. It's just it's a lot of fun. Really, it's a lot of fun.
بصي you seem very very passionate وانت بتتكلمي بجد وفعلا غيرتي لي شويه منظوري للجولري عامه يعني بجد. I'm very very interested in how you perceive jewelry. It's beyond انه it's accessories او حاجه بتتلبس كده حوالين الرقبه او يعني بلبسه في صباعي او كده. It's really beyond that و it can tell stories. وزي ما انتي قلتي it's experiential. It can stand for something and وبرضه حتة علاقة ما بين الobject والجسم دي and you base your ideas or your questions on that or around that. دي حاجة برضه أنا حاساها very very interesting in your work.
Thank you so much.
في مشاريع هنتكلم عنها. في حتى انتي مش بس انتي شاركتي يا فرح في معارض بس مش بشكل اللي هو ايه انتي كنتي بتعرضي شغلك. هو كان اكتر من كده. انتي عملتي صممتي installations فعايزه افهم برضو هل ده انتي شايفاه jewelry او it's a representation of jewelry. فعايزه افهم برضو your thought process في الحته دي. فايه رايك ندخل على طول في البروجكتس ونشوف كده ونتكلم اكتر. اوكي اول بروجكت حابه قوي ان احنا نتكلم عنه هو ان انت عرضتيه في دبي ديزاين ويك. كان تقريبا في 2017
يا
تعالي كده نشوف مع بعض. ده تقريبا ده من ضمن ابواب exhibition صح كده؟
exactly. فأبواب was something called it's a small area that Dubai Design Week hosts for young designers. Every year there's a different theme. ووقتها كانت أبواب and they do something called designer dominoes, which means إن هما they nominate 10 artists for example. وكل artist لما يجي يسبمت شغله لازم to nominate a designer.
Okay.
فأنا مثلا I got nominated. then the only way they would accept my submission into the lottery is that I would have to recommend someone else.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the designer dominoes came about, and this was the installation at the time. It was a really interesting pop-up kind of during the time of Dubai Design Week. And that's where I got to feature one of the pieces that I was working on during my thesis في الجامعة.
ترى بس هو معلش cropped شوية.
No, that's okay. في صورة تانية where it's
which is slightly also cropped. I think هنا ممكن it's a bit more
okay. So the idea of التيوب دي it was a way to investigate. هي متطبقة basically. And it's made out of fabric. And the reason why it is like that because I started and actually كل graduation work بتاعي كان قماش entirely. There was no metal at all in my graduation work.
which is to a normal person it's so not jewelry. يعني هو
it's so not jewelry. Imagine explaining it to my parents. It's not لو انت بتتخرجي بتعملي ايه انا يعني what is this. But the idea was because I was يعني the concept was all about the body. So I wanted materials that were very relevant and recognizable. ان انت automatically اول ما بتشوفي حاجة soft automatically عايزة تمسكيها. You want to feel how soft it is and you pick it up. So automatically my job is done. And again, we're talking about social experiments. And you're picking up this piece where it's actually زي ما كنا بنتكلم it's an opening هو اللي بيخليكي تلبسي حاجة أو to interact with something. Exactly. فهنا what I did is I sewed two perpendicular openings لبعض.
تمام.
That you can open together or open separately. You can put two hands in there. You can put يعني شخصين ممكن يحطوا ايديهم فيها، ممكن تحطي راسك فيها as if it's a necklace. So it feels like a necklace, it looks like a necklace, but it doesn't act like a necklace. So it was again a very interesting way to discuss jewelry, but not make it look like jewelry at all. But then as soon as you have it on the table هي عادي متطبقة محدش فاهم ده ايه. وبعدين automatically once you start picking it up، أنا هنا في الصورة دي مثلا كنت عاملة several شايفة كل الارrows بيقولك انت ممكن تفتحي منين أو تخشي منين. So these were all different modules kind of that I was developing برضو بالقماش بالسيليكون عشان أشوف الانتراكشن بتاعت الناس هتبقى عاملة ازاي. And what I did was actually صورت كل أصحابي، حطيت مثلا قدامهم piece وصورتهم interact وروني بقى. ف I did a lot of social experiments and a lot of field research in terms of figuring out طيب الناس بتreact لأنهي materials ازاي وبتعمل ايه وكده. ف Dubai Design Week got to feature that piece and it was so interesting because they had it in a section that was all tactile and interactive work. بس برضو ما كانش مفهوم يعني. أنا طبعا وقفت I was standing in the corner كده زي الغريبة كده قاعدة بتفرج على كل حد.
بتراقبي الناس بقى هيمسكوا الحاجة ازاي،
براقب الناس. عايزة I'm very interested to see هي يعني react ازاي because also in a gallery setting or in a museum setting or in an exhibition you're always told not to touch anything.
صحيح.
But that was also something that was very interesting for me to experience is you're telling them it's an interactive exhibition but they still don't know can they touch, should they touch، طب أعمل إيه، طب في الخباثة، طب. But it was just so interesting. It was such an experience. It was great.
That's really great. That's really great. طيب
انتي كنتي بتقولي ان انتي رحتي برضه صح؟ Did you go see؟
صحيح أنا كنت موجودة في دبي ساعتها وحضرت دبي ديزاين ويك ساعتها. بس مش قادرة أفتكر لو دخلت فعلا البافيليونز بتاعت أبواب. مش قادرة أفتكر لأن أنا أصلا ساعتها كنت بشتغل مع ارت دبي وكانوا هما ارت دبي ودبي ديزاين ويك تحت يعني the same umbrella، هي نفس الشركة. فكنا بننزل كده نشوف، هو الاوفيس بتاعنا كان تقريبا في one of the buildings في دبي ديزاين ديستريكت. فكنا بننزل كده نتفرج نلقي نظرة سريعة ونطلع تاني عشان نكمل
على الشغل على طول.
كانت فترة صعبة شوية بس لا it was a great year. يعني أنا فاكرة كانت سنة الشغل اللي كان معروض كان شغل قوي أوي يعني.
No, it was great. I was very fortunate to have been nominated honestly.
That's really great. طيب في شغل تاني ده اتعرض في 2019 في Venice Design. ده تقريبا من ضمن فعالية Venice Biennale. بالظبط. خليني كده نطلع نشوف الصور. ده الكريتنج بروسس الترانسبورتيشن. احكي لي عن الترانسبورتيشن في فينيس.
Everything is by water. Everything.
Yeah.
So it was so interesting getting the work there. And actually what we did is هما عرفوا عني من Dubai Design Week. So they had seen my work there and then they contacted me right after it. وطبعا exhibition fees for the Biennale as an individual independent artist are unaffordable really.
متخيلة
especially with shipping and material costs وكل الحاجات دي. فأنا أول سنة اعتذرت وبعدين بعتولي تاني سنة and then I guess I was in a different headspace. I was like, you know what, هجرب.
صحيح.
بس I proposed my idea and I started pitching to sponsors هنا في مصر
اوكي، حلو
to
قوي.
help support. وطبعا عشان كنت عارفة إنه it يعني for me it was very rare. I was the first Egyptian that was nominated for Venice Design and I was the only Egyptian there في الآخر. فلا حسيت إن it was very important for me to really pursue it. فالحمد لله with the help of sponsors I got to exhibit. It was a 7-month exhibition مع البينالي and we got to ship in our work. أنا طبعا داخلة بsuitcases و Venice and all the bridges. It was quite an exercise. بس الحمد لله يعني we made everything work and I was there for the opening برضو. فهنا I did 2 site specific pieces. هنا على اليمين اللي هي النكلس الطويلة اللي هي kind of it's hanging from the wall, that one بالضبط.
ايوه.
And so that was an 8-meter long necklace made out of silicone loops. السيليكون loops دول they're entirely they're solid completely.
Okay.
And they're really stretchy and it feels like skin, so it's really, you think it'll be light but each one weighs about يعني 700 gram, for almost a kilo each.
Okay.
It's quite heavy. And then this one is the large loop. For this one, it was really all about measurements and all about برضو interaction. This idea of taking the traditional form of a necklace. So one necklace. The longest necklace usually that you have in jewelry عامة is about 80 centimeters long. This is it exactly.
Okay.
So what I did is, in repetition, I started building necklaces, necklaces. And I called it union. So the idea with this is ان انتي ممكن تلبسيها لوحدك بس you bear all the weight مع نفسك.
Okay.
And it feels like a necklace, it acts like a necklace, but again the material is completely opposite. It's very much like your skin.
Wow.
أو ان انتي ممكن تلبسيها مع كذا حد أو ان انتي كذا part من جسمك ممكن تلبسيهم مع بعض. So you don't necessarily have to wear it like a necklace.
Okay.
This became kind of like a community art piece and installation. It didn't become usually necklaces انت بتلبسيها لوحدك. فأنا ابتديت أفكر طب أنا دلوقتي في Venice Design there's a lot of people coming in and out and experiencing art وفي pavilions بالinstallations وحاجات بlighting وحاجات with sound and just so many interesting experiences. فهنا I'm kind of representing jewelry. So how can I represent jewelry بس إننا to bring the experience for everyone instead of for me to wear the necklace لوحدي.
Yeah.
بس I kind of made this necklace بحس إن كل حد ممكن يلبسها مع بعض. And that's what people did. People started يعني kids especially.
Interacting مع طبعا.
Especially the kids إن هما يمسكوها ويلعبوا ويشدوا they put it on their head and they start wearing it differently. So it was just it was so much fun to see
بس ايه كان
how
رد فعل الاهالي؟ يعني كان عندهم الخوف انه don't touch don't كده ولا كانوا سايبينهم؟
بصي لا definitely كانوا خايفين بس as soon as they saw يعني أنا كنت حاطة this was again something that goes back to exhibition design in general. It's like, do you want to tell people that they can interact or do you want to wait for them to بالظبط. this was interesting. أنا قررت إن أنا ما كنتش عايزة أكتب and I really wanted الناس هم اللي يحسوا. that's why كنت يعني معلقاها شوية بس سايبة الباقي على الأرض بحس إن هم يحسوا اللي هو إيه ده لو هي على الأرض يبقى أنا عادي ممكن أحركها برجلي. طب إيه ده طب أنا لو لمستها ممكن أقوم أشيلها. it was an interesting experience.
حلو قوي. في كان كمان another piece يا فرح in the exhibition.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about this لأنه
So
لان
with
انا
this
عايزه
one,
امسكها، يعني انا ببص على الفوتوز، ببص على ده، ببص على الصوره دي وببص على دولت
so
كمان.
I have, yeah, so هما دول. I brought a few to just like, I can send you one. They're really nice stress balls, honestly.
واو. احنا هنتكلم عن
Yeah,
البروسيس نفسهم في in producing these
yeah.
بعد شويه، بس انت اللي عاملاهم.
أنا it's so I love it. I love making everything myself. With this, it was really a way to use silicone as a material that isn't traditionally used. وفي نفس الوقت إن هو بيديكي إحساس السكين.
Okay.
What I wanted to do is in this piece, okay, it's called introspection, which means ان انتي you are kind of self-reflecting على اللي بيحصل. Okay, فهنا what I wanted to kind of highlight is ال 2 milliseconds اللي بيحصلوا في المومنت وانتي بتلبسي piece. فlet's say انتي you're about to wear a ring. انتي automatically بتفكري ايه ده، اوكي الشكل من بره، بس مش بنفكر قوي فاحنا جسمنا اتحرك ازاي علشان to accept this piece ان هو يلبسها. it was kind of from the skin's point of view.
حلو قوي، very
فانا
interesting.
كنت عايزه اكبر الموليكيولز بتاعه السكين بطريقه ان انت تقدري to really visualize ايه اللي بيحصل لما انت بتزقي عليها. فانت if these are your molecules automatically ايه اللي بيحصل للجسم نفسه لما تيجي يكون في interaction معاه. فدي احنا حاجه مش بنشوفها في الطبيعه، بنحس بيها ساعات بس يعني it kind of flies over our head، يعني it's not something that's important.
حقيقي
بس
صح.
because I was يعني focusing so much on the experience of jewelry, I really wanted to show يعني فانتي وانتي داخله الباب because it's a door frame.
Yeah.
فوانتي داخله الدور فريم ده انتي automatically غصب عنك هتخبطي فيه. some people's reaction were like oops sorry او يعني ما كانش قصدي او كده. بس what was great about it is that the people that did feel comfortable really started like interacting ويشوفوا الفكرة ما كانتش ان هما يفكروا انه ده jewelry. okay يعني this was not the purpose to make this distinction, but the whole idea was انه في حاجة بتحصل لما البودي بيinteract. فأنا كنت عايزة أوري الانتراكشن ده بس. I made all of these spheres in all the skin-like colors. I made it site specific for the door frame.
تقريبا عملتي اكتر من 60 واحده يا فرح، صح؟
Yes for this one. عملت يعني هي لا it took me honestly around 2 months to علشان ال60 دول اللي طلعوا حلوين بس مش التوتال اللي اتعمل. you always have to with these because it's فلما في البروسس لما تشوفي هتلاحظي برضو انه كل واحدة فيهم بتتصب separately and then it's filled with fiber وبعدين بتتقفل بكرتونة من ورا علشان تحبس الهواء بالظبط. the first thing that I had to do was ان I have to make a mold basically. قالب plaster اوكي بياخد الشيب بتاع ده وبعدين بعمل عليه قالب فايبر اللي هو اللي موجود ورا and then I start weighing the silicone and then sorry that's my friend from India, she's so supportive. Hi Pallavi. So yeah, for each one I got to so I started using makeup powder actually. هي دي اللي جابت لي ال different skin tones.
انا كنت لسه هسألك الالوان is it painting عادي ولا اوكي؟
خالص I really wanted it ان هو ما يطلعش I focused قوي. I just got a lot of pigment, makeup pigment, basically in different shades and tones وكده. And then I did my own mixing so that I can get different skin tones and make it as relevant as possible. أكنك بجد you're touching different skins.
Very interesting.
Thank you. فده القالب يعني مش مفروض قوي ان انت تمسكي السيليكون بايدك بس it was really the only way to do it. بس ف each one بتتصب بالايد and then it takes about 5 to 7 minutes for it to start gelling شوية, so it's called curing. And then once it's cured I can fill it and then بقفلها من فوق and I add another layer. This is the dirty backside that you should never see.
أيوة. الباكستيج.
الباckstage, you should never see this. بس المهم ان من قدام it looks great.
Yeah.
ده المهم. بس واللي لذيذ فيهم ان you trap the air من جوه فautomatically اول ما بتدوسي بيرجع تاني.
Very interesting. Okay.
So with these, I got to display in Venice, and it was such an interesting experience. برضو كنت واقفة في الكورنر كده قاعدة بصور كل حد.
قعدتي قد إيه تقريبا في فينيس؟
أنا قعدت وقت الأوبننج بس أسبوع. بس actually في نفس يعني when we were setting up في نفس الوقت I had another exhibition for Milan Design Week.
Okay.
At the same time of Venice. I got to travel back and forth ليها برضو. I got to spend some time in Italy برضو, which was great. بس exhibition نفسه it stays for 7 months. Well, actually, I was supposed to get my pieces back, but right now they're still stuck in Italy وطبعا كل حاجة مقفولة.
Right.
بس there's a lot of silicone waiting for me in Italy. وبس I got to display these برضو most recently when I did an exhibition. My recent exhibition كان برضو قبل ما كورونا حصلت على طول in the beginning of March في the Nook in Zamalek.
ده project برضو حابين قوي نتكلم عنه. ده انت بتقولي it was in March.
It was on right before كل ده حصل. What I did for the Yes No Maybe So exhibition is I wanted to, وده أرجع لسؤالك انت كنت سألتيه من فترة, كنت عايزة أرجع أشرح شوية إن أنا I love to make commercial pieces. بس these pieces والconcept بتاعتهم هي بجد اللي بتطلع كل creativity والexperimentation والresearch. فأنا باخد ideas دي وببتدي develop a collection or a series using more traditional materials فضة, ذهب, نحاس, things like that, وأعمل منها commercial collection. What I wanted to do for the first time في مصر is إن أنا كنت عايزة أعرض كل الحاجات دي مع بعض في نفس الوقت. And I wanted to really يعني present this conversation مع بعض بس related to each other. فدايما I always treated them as very separate ideas. ان انت يكون عندك experiential installation artwork, but at the same time I had what I call transitional pieces, which are pieces made out of silver and silicone, or clay and silver, or glass and silver. حاجات experimental برضو بس تتلبس اكتر. وطبعا بقى اللي هي البيسز اللي معمولة من silver and gold only, which are very commercial. So that's why I named the exhibition Yes, No, Maybe So, which is kind of like people's reactions to the 3 different categories of jewelry that I'm presenting, basically.
أنا كنت لسه أسألك برضو الاسم was inspired بالcontent. That's really
بالظبط.
interesting.
دي مثلا كانت نفس النكلس اللي انا عرضتها في فينيس،
Yeah.
بس حبيت اعملها with fabric instead of with silicone، بس بنفس يعني روح الالوان.
Yeah.
وكمان في نفس الوقت I started filling it with rice and
Oh.
عدس and قطن، يعني different materials that also make you feel the weight and the movement for what you're holding basically. فinstead
Okay.
instead of being okay ده قماش، لا، كل واحدة فيهم feels different and so it moves differently.
Yeah.
بس that was that piece.
Yeah.
With this one I created like a walk-in installation برضو using السيليكون، بس it was inspired by the shape of pots.
Okay.
فأنا my pieces
Yeah.
برضو the commercial pieces are all pot variations because again they are reinterpretations of a circle as an open space. يعني هي it's kind of a loop كده، بس الcommercial work بتاعي كله it's kind of like الcircle اللي احنا كنا بنتكلم عليها قبل كده، ازاي بتكبر وبتبتدي تكون a three-dimensional object.
Mm.
فأنا يعني مثلا الcircle دي it looks like one three-dimensional object، بس أنا لو طولت الرقبة automatically I get a pot, for example.
Okay. Yeah.
And a pot is just an object that is made for the hands for you to hold and carry and كده.
Yeah.
فحسيت إن كان في like a 360 degree loop around الكونسبت بتاع الجسم، وبي interact مع الobjects، بي interact مع السيليكون. ف it was just a really interesting way to put all of these three categories مع بعض.
That's really interesting يا فرح. That's very very interesting.
Thank you.
What I like برضو how different pieces are communicating with each other. يعني انت بتشوفي مثلا this installation and then you look at this. حتى your presentation of the work,
بالظبط.
the podiums, let's say, or like the background that holds your pieces. برضو it talks to the actual pieces and it talks to the installation نفسه. فتحسي إن في unity across يعني all across.
أنا يعني it's always important to me إن أنا I'm يعني presenting myself extremely artistically. فالديسبلاي بتاع الجولري برضو لازم يكون نفس الحاجة.
Yeah.
يعني it has to be very attentive to detail. It has to be حتى إنه ما يكونش الألوان بتاعته غريبة، ما يكونش الstructure بتاعه traditional. It's always a fun way for me to kind of play like a set designer إن أنا how can I present something بطريقة interesting. حتى very funny story، بس كنت I was exhibiting at the Zamalek market actually in one of the Valentine's Day pop-ups وكده، وكنت عارضة كل البيسز بتاعتي على الفخار. أنا I usually display ال old collection على فخار. فautomatically a really lovely old lady عدت and she's like okay حلو الشغل الفخار ده، بس أنا شفته قبل كده. فautomatically it was just an interesting يعني and funny way to say and maybe to me it's natural ان انا احط البيسز بتاعتي على displays مختلفة، بس يمكن not everyone in the public would be necessarily accepting it also.
Yeah.
But this is what I love to do. يعني I love to question and I love to try and I love to experiment and kind of like mess around with people's ideas and things. إن احنا دايما we think we know الجولري ده لازم مثلا حد يقول لك الجولري ده accessories. حد يقولك الجولري لازم تكون precious، حد يقولك الخاتم لازم يتلبس هنا، أو الحلق لازم يتلبس بالطريقة دي. ف it's honestly there are so many jewelry designers from us doing amazing work and amazing jobs, and
yeah
I feel like it's so interesting to also take it from a different perspective. بالذات ان انا I love making commercial jewelry برضو. All my pieces, whether the glass pieces or the silver pieces, انا لابسه هنا like a few of the new collection برضو. With everything that I make, I like to treat it like it's a completely different world لوحدها basically. فدي
this
كانت أهم
photo is very
حاجة.
interesting. This photo is
Yeah.
very interesting. يعني someone is really immersed into the within the installation.
No, بالظبط. And in the background, you can also see Nana, I collaborated with illustration artist. Her name is Muna El
Hello.
Khatib.
Very
And
nice.
she was actually one of my students. And I also teach in the studio. I teach jewelry making classes and design classes. She actually took one of my design classes, and I loved her concepts and the way she used to write about her collection and her drawings. I invited her to create prints inspired by the concept بتاعي, but for the exhibition. She got to exhibit them and sell them there. And then I also collaborated with video artist Marwan Al Gamal.
Okay.
And he's one of the artists بتوع Art Egypt that exhibits with them every year. He's an incredible psychedelic artist, and so it was really interesting. I wanted to kind of see the concept ده هيتقري ازاي video in a video medium, and see kind of هو كمان how he would interpret the body and the objects and things like that. But it was a really interesting collaboration. I loved it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
انتي لسه يا فرح بتدي workshops؟ او طبعا في الظروف اللي احنا فيها دي ممكن تبقى موضوع صعب شوية، بس هتكملي يعني are you planning to resume the sessions or workshops إن شاء الله يعني at some point?
Inshallah, I definitely want to. It's honest. I used to teach one of the Gama. I came back to Egypt to teach بعد ما I graduated. It's something that I really am so passionate about. Inshallah, I will resume. What I've been doing recently is I've been doing like a few design challenges and a few jewelry photography challenges, and just some fun like stay-at-home exercises for people to kind of keep the creative momentum going.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing recently, Bardo, is in one of the design challenges, I'm inviting people to send in designs, and every week I will pick a design and I will make it for them. فحاجات ملهاش دعوة بشغل. بس هي just a fun way to also keep my brain working في حاجات برضو مش بتاعتي. I don't necessarily always have to be making my work. I'd love to challenge myself with other people's designs. That's what I'm also like inviting everyone to do. And طبعا
ممكن يبعتولك فين يا فرح؟
Yes, anyone can send their designs over to FforFarah on Instagram.
Okay.
And every week I'm going to be picking a different design that I feel inspired by. It could be anything like super simple. The first challenge that I did was I had people be inspired by objects from their home. ففي حد عمل some really cute earrings بالويسك اللي هي بتاعت الطبيخ.
Okay.
They were just like, and someone was inspired by a candle, someone was inspired by a lamp, things like that. But there were some really interesting designs that came out of just being at home and drawing for a few minutes.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
كنت عايزة أسألك يا فرح، أنتي تقريبا يعني في الأول يعني تقريبا during دراستك في أمريكا، وقبل كده انت تقريبا ما كنتش عايشة في مصر، انت كنت بتنزلي بس during your vacation وكده. فايه اللي خلاكي بعد الجامعة تقرري ان انت تنزلي مصر with all its excitement
It's a love-hate relationship.
for every designer, for every
um,
artist.
بصي، لا انا honestly رجعت علشان حسيت ان انا يعني عمري ما عشت هنا وكنت عايزة اجرب honestly. like حسيت ان كل ما باجي there's just such an energy and I love it. وبره طبعا في حاجات سهلة وفي حاجات أصعب من هنا. بس حسيت ان انا خلاص يعني I was abroad for reasons قبل كده because of my dad's work. وبعدين for جامعة الحمد لله I had the opportunity to travel abroad. بس بعدين قلت يعني أنا ممكن أوكي طب أتخيل إن أنا هشتغل مع شركة برا أو هدرس برا أو بس ما حسيتش بفulfillment من ناحية إن أنا هكون بعمل اللي أنا عايزاه في الحتة اللي أنا عايزاها. at the end of the day برضو في حاجات كتيرة قوي بتربطك ببلدك. ف even though I didn't live here, my Arabic was horrible, 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 horrible. And now it's so much better الحمد لله. even يعني حتى يعني لما تسمعيني بتكلم هتعرفي ان انا ما اتربيتش هنا. يعني you can tell ان my Arabic isn't very musky. But still like it's important to adapt and I wanted to be here because I was close to my family. and حتى يعني أنا رجعت أصلا قبل مامتي وبابايا.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a family decision to come back to Egypt. It was more like لا خلاص أنا kind of enough traveling and enough living abroad and I just wanted to settle down and try building a life هنا basically.
That's really great.
Thank you. At the time كل حد طبعا كان بيقول لي اجري سافري ما ترجعيش.
طبعا اللي بيبقى خلاص موجود في مصر ده بيبقى اكيد يعني their feedback let's say او يعني their opinion انه يعني احنا عايزين نطلع، انت ايه اللي جابك؟ اللي اكيد بره already بيبقى شايف مصر بطريقة مختلفة وشايف ان في opportunity وفي potential جامد وفي gap. فبالتالي انت with your background with your experience you can fill that gap with your creativity with your practice you can fill that gap.
I think there's just been an incredible wave of so much talent and so much passion and يعني the designers and organizations that are supporting designers have been incredible at this time. But it's really a very fortunate time to be here في الوقت ده. والحمد لله برضو like when things open up I'll get back to teaching. The work I'm continuing to produce I'm self-sustaining in my studio so I'm not affected قوي من الوقت ده. بس again like you continue and persevere and it'll be great إن شاء الله at the end.
صحيح إن شاء الله. I wish you all the best يا فرح. اتبسطت جدا بجد معاكي. It was a super interesting chat.
Thank you so much.
I hope بقى إن شاء الله the next time we meet يبقى in person.
Yes, for sure.
وبس best of luck and we'll keep in touch definitely.
إن شاء الله. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you يا فرح. يلا تصبحوا على خير. Thank you. مع السلامة. باي باي.